Hi everyone, welcome back to this session of PMP drag and drop questions. This is such an amazing way to prepare for your exam and also an amazing way to just get back up to speed with all the current project management terminology and definitions, because what we're going to go through are things like definitions, the order and the process of things in project management, and the scenarios and problem solving and how to do that. So these are our drag and drop questions, and they're taken from the PMBOK Guide 7th edition, the Process Groups Practice Guide, which shows our project management process, and the Agile Practice Guide. So we've got a whole range of predictive and agile scenarios. And I'll also make this as available as a download in my course on Udemy, which is currently the top rated course on Udemy for PMP courses, which is absolutely fantastic. Check that out if that's the sort of thing that you're into. It's such an honor to be the top rated course, and it'd be really, really great to have you. Let's get into the first question. Okay, measurements, proactive metrics that are used to predict future performance and identify potential issues. That sounds like leading. We're leading indicators. And this could be things like, do we have a process for what we're doing? Or are our stakeholders engaged? Those things are leading indicators. If stakeholders are not engaged, then things might be going south in the future. Now, metrics that reflect past performance and outcomes, providing insights into what's already occurred. So things like customer sales or things that have already happened, those are lagging indicators. Measurable objectives or measurable values used to assess the success of project activities and overall performance. It could be either of these. I think that's going to be our KPIs, just general measures or key performance indicators for our project. How are we measuring the things on our project? And a high-level written goal with the measures to get there. That's our objective, high written goal, and key results. Those are the measures, or OKRs, that we might see in Agile. Let's quickly check that out. And it looks like those are correct. From the PMBOK Guide 7th edition, if you want to check that out, key performance indicators on page 94. How did you guys go with that one? First one off the ranks in this little section. So really, really good. Measurement pitfalls. Okay, where what we measure influences the behavior of the people that we're measuring. That is the Hawthorne effect. And so be careful. If you measure how fast things go, then people will do everything in their power to go really, really quickly, but that might cost us quality. So the quality might go down. So we have to be careful what we measure, or just be aware of it. Measuring things that are not actionable. That might be vanity metrics, because we're just measuring them, but we can't actually take any action on them. What's the point? It's just for our own vanity. Or as an executive, this does happen quite a bit. You've probably noticed. If what we measure is not achievable, then we get demoralized. So we're demoralized because we're measuring something and we just cannot ever see ourselves achieving it. And using metrics to validate our own opinions, we are confirming our own opinions. That is confirmation bias. Have you ever done that? You've gone out and found a whole bunch of data just to confirm your own opinion, and then you say, well, see, look, the data confirms what I said, but there's a whole bunch of other data that we didn't actually look at. Anyway, I could talk about this stuff for hours. And there it is, that's come through. Measurement pitfalls in the PMBOK Guide 7th edition, page 111 to 112. How did you guys go with that one? All right, more measurement pitfalls. Oh, well, seems like there are a lot of pitfalls when we're measuring things. Measuring things that aren't actionable. If you remember, that was our vanity metrics. Looks like there's just 2 extra ones here. So using metrics as a beating stick instead of helping remove blockers. That is misusing the metrics. Have you ever had someone use these metrics and just say, well, you just need to go faster? But really, if we're leading properly, or especially in Agile servant leadership, we should be using the metrics and saying, how can we remove those blockers for you to get what you need? How can we get you what you need to do the job that you need to do? Using metrics to align with our own opinions, that is confirmation bias again. And the last one, this is one of my favorites. If 2 things happen at the same time, it doesn't always mean that one caused the other. For example, that happens there and it happens there, they're very, very similar, but that doesn't actually mean that those two things are caused by each other. And a classic example of this is drownings versus ice cream sales. Drownings go up at the same time as ice cream sales, so people thought that ice cream caused drownings. But really, it was the hot weather, because more people go swimming in the hot weather and more people eat ice cream in the hot weather. Maybe a little bit morbid, that one, but it's a good example. And let's just quickly check. There we are. PMBOK Guide 7th edition, page 111 and 112, measurement pitfalls. All of these things really, really good to be aware of as we go through our own projects, not just for the exam. So that's pretty cool. All right, the benchmarking process. Oh, now how good is this? And also, when do we use benchmarking? Well, what do we do first? We want to find the process that we want to improve. Select the process. Here we go. So that one's good. And why do we do benchmarking? We use this to find opportunities to improve. We benchmark our process against another team or organization's process to find ways that we might improve. So we want to figure out the current situation, our process, and then the organizations that we want to compare it to. So ours and theirs, and then we want to document our current process so that we've really got all of our current situation laid out. And then once we've done that, we need to collect all of the data from other organizations so we can compare it. And that's what we do next, or collect and compare to the other organizations. And we find those improvements that we can make, and we plan and implement those changes. Then we review those results and we repeat. And you'll find that consultants, so the big consultancy firms, let's quickly check though. Okay, that's right, great. But the big consultancy firms like KPMG or PwC or McKinsey, they actually use benchmarking a lot because they have a lot of data from all of the other organizations that they've already worked with. And so that's where the power of working with those consultancies comes in. Page 249 under benchmarking. And how did you guys go with that one? It's a great way to get ideas for your projects or improvements. Types of analysis. Analysis on whether work should be completed internally or purchased from an external supplier. We're figuring out whether we need to make it ourselves or buy it. Make or buy analysis. Prioritizing our stakeholders by their influence and impact is stakeholder analysis. And you remember what this looks like, don't you? It's like a matrix, and we've got 4 quadrants basically of 1 to 10 and 1 to 10. And one is our influence, and one is the impact that they could have, that our project will have on them. And really, we want to focus on the people with the highest impact to them and the highest influence that they have on us. So all of that is very, very, it's just a great way to work, and a very good thing to be aware of. Analyzing how much contingency and management reserves are remaining. That is our reserves analysis. And that looks like a little burn down chart, actually. We've got our reserves and how much do we have remaining? Just pretty simple. Doesn't have to be too complicated. Evaluating how changes in key variables impact project outcomes. Okay, last one is our sensitivity analysis. And what else can we call sensitivity analysis? It is a tornado chart, because we've got 0 here, and is it a little bit to the left? Is it negative or is it positive? Negative, positive. And it ends up looking like a tornado. Let's quickly check. And that is good. Page 174 to 176, data gathering and analysis in the PMBOK Guide 7th edition. Wonderful stuff. All right, more types of analysis. Let's see what we've got. Analyzing a risk probability and impact. That is our risk qualitative analysis. And so that's a good way to do it. 5 whys, Ishikawa diagram, or Pareto diagrams help us find the root cause of the problem, root cause analysis. Using statistics to find trending data, trends are regression. It's a regression to the mean. So it finds the trend over time. And analyzing strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's an acronym for SWOT, our SWOT analysis. Let's have a little check. And that one is correct. Wonderful. Page 174 to 176, Data Gathering and Analysis in the PMBOK Guide 7th edition. How did you guys go with that one? That one is not too bad. Pretty straightforward and really good to be up to speed with all of these terms that we're going to see in the real world and on the exam. A list of categories broken down from high level to low level, or risk categories. That is our risk breakdown structure. And we might put these into categories like commercial risk, management risk, or system risk, and then we can break them down further. So what are all the system risks that we typically see? And it's a great way for us to brainstorm risks and then to use them in the future within our same company. So pretty handy. Adjusting the backlog to balance the highest cost risks with the highest value features. That is our risk adjusted backlog. And we've seen that before, definitely using that in Agile. Evaluating risks based on their potential impact, using subjective judgment and expert opinions. Subjective judgment is qualitative. It's our qualitative risk. But analyzing the risks based on statistical and mathematical methods is quantitative. It's our quantitative data. We're quantifying it with numbers. And let's check that out. There it is, page 231 under Risk Management Plan in the Process Group's Practice Guide from 2023. Wonderful stuff. All right, only 3 to go in this little section. You're doing really, really well. Let's see what we've got. Clear real-world measures of the risk impacts and likelihoods. Those are our risk definitions. And risk definitions are really handy because then if we've got a likelihood of 1 to 5, we're saying, what does that actually mean in the real world? Is a likelihood a 20% chance of it happening? Or it's only going to happen once a month, or once a year, or once a day? What does that look like in our organization? And each organization will be different, so we have to define it. Pretty cool. I really like that stuff. The person accountable for the risk and its outcome is the risk owner. Maybe that makes me a little bit weird with, I like risk so much, but hey, it's everywhere. So we want to manage it properly. The controls, mitigations, and other responses are our risk responses. Wonderful. And a list of risks, including the title, impact, status, owners, and responses. We put all of our risks into that risk register. Let's check that out and see what we've got. And there we are. PMBOK Guide 7th edition, 2021, page 189 under logs and registers. Excellent. How did you guys go with that one? 2 to go in this little section. So let's keep going. Assessing the stakeholders by their power, urgency, and legitimacy. That is our salience chart. Similar to a stakeholder matrix, but we have 3 things, and they call it maybe it's a 3D or a cube version of the analysis as well, because there are 3 parts, not just 2. So prioritizing the stakeholders according to their impact and their influence, that is our normal stakeholder matrix. Now, what's a document that lists all of our project stakeholders, detailing their interests, influence, and the impact on the project? That's going to be our normal stakeholder register. And classifying stakeholders by their current and desired level of support is our stakeholder engagement matrix. Now, do you remember with the stakeholder engagement matrix how we rank them? It's are they unaware? Are they resistant? Are they neutral? Are they supportive? Or are they leading? And we want to put a C for their current state and a D for their desired state. So if they're unaware currently, we want in the future, we desire them to be supportive. And so that's our stakeholder engagement matrix. Just a little bit of extra stuff there, and that is correct. So we've got that, and that's wonderful. Page 250, stakeholders in the glossary. Nice and easy to find. Last one, you have done an amazing job. This is the last one for this particular section. Michael asks stakeholders to cast votes or to rank or narrow down a list of features. Wonderful way to do it. If we're voting, multi-voting is going to be the one. Now, multi-voting, we might have 5 dots. Can also be voting with dots. We might have 5 dots to put towards different features. And so everyone uses up all of their dots, and you could use 5 dots on one feature if you wanted to, or you could spread them across different features. And that way it ends up just people really end up getting what they want. So it's a really good way to do voting. Leah prioritizes items with the highest value and the lowest effort. That is our prioritization matrix. And that just looks the same as our other matrices. That is just like this, with the 1 to 10 of highest value and lowest effort. If it's low effort, we can put it as a 10. And we want to be doing the ones with the highest value and the lowest effort. Pretty simple and a good way to prioritize. Oliver is using SAFE, or the Scaled Agile Framework, prioritizing features using a method similar to the cost of delay. That is the weighted shortest job first, or WSJF. Now, it is very similar to the cost of delay, so just keep that in mind. And you shouldn't have a calculation on that, but it's good to know. And with our cost of delay, we want to choose the highest value that it comes out of that calculation. Ruby prioritizes features by must-have, satisfiers, and delighters. That is our Kano analysis. And remember, delighters in today's terms become satisfiers in tomorrow's terms. So over time, people become used to it and they start expecting those things. So delighters become satisfiers, and then over time become must-have quality. For example, electric windows. In the 80s, in 1980s, everyone, it was a delighter. It was an amazing thing, or maybe in the 90s. And now today, it's just a standard must-have part of quality. Let's quickly check how we went, and it looks like we've got a winner, but also a winner is the way that you are going through these questions and improving yourself and improving your knowledge every single day. I think this is absolutely fantastic, and it's a wonderful way to prepare for your exam, and also truly the best thing to improve your general project knowledge. Projects are so important, and by getting this skill, you are doing something important too. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.